Many will know that AIS is the industry leader in the development of commercial inland marine and output programs. In fact, hundreds of insurers use our Inland Marine Guide and more than 100 use our COP program. We're also longtime supporters of the Inland Marine Underwriters Association. In this AAIS Advisory Report, I am thrilled to welcome Kevin O'Brien, President and CEO of the IMUA, as well as Rich Soja, the Global Head of Inland Marine at Allianz Global Corporate and Specialty. They join us now from the IMUA offices in New York. Gentlemen, welcome to the AAIS Advisory.
Very nice to join you, Ed.
Ed, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Kevin, let's go to you first. Inland Marine has traditionally been a very profitable line of business. How did the market fare in 2019?
So it certainly has been a very profitable part of the market. In fact, traditionally, inland marine has been more profitable than the P&C industry at large by about 10% on an average. And however, 2019 has presented some challenges. You know, we've had a lot of natural catastrophes. We've had hurricanes, tornadoes, flood, wildfire. So property rates have gone up a little bit. I think profitability is going to take a little hit, but we still think that it's going to be a very good year, 2019. Now, another thing that's helping that profitability is the economy, because two of the big influences in the economy are construction and transportation. And those happen to be related to inland marine very directly. So you can see that as far as construction goes, there's renovation going on, there's redevelopment, there's new construction. That all leads to requirements for builder's risk insurance. And builder's risk insurance on those sites requires contractors' equipment to get the job done. On the other hand, we have another driving force in the economy, transportation. And as far as transportation goes, that's referring to getting commodities throughout the country, by truck or by rail, which directly has increased exposures for us in motor truck cargo and warehouse legal liability.
So Rich, what new and emerging trends are affecting the inland marine market?
There are quite a few, so I'll pick just a couple. So much of what we do is transportation and construction. And on the transportation side, one emerging trend is a freight market slowdown. Through September of 2019, 750 motor carriers shut their doors, and that's more than double year-end 2018. So underwriters are faced with the challenge of greater scrutiny when it comes to financial quality of their insureds. And the second, somewhat similar, in the other direction, on construction, is the skilled labor shortage. The cost to get skilled contractors and labor to a site, especially after a loss, is limited because there are fewer skilled technicians available to be pulled on, and costs are going up.
So Rich, how has technology and data affected the way insurers underwrite inland marine risk?
Not to the extent that it should be influencing us. So we talk a lot about big data. We talk a lot about using big data. Most large insurance companies have difficulty with legacy systems and being able to use data that's now available and ingrain it into their underwriting process. With that said, there are quite a few emerging MGAs and service providers who are a bit more nimble that we can utilize to help us in that endeavor.
And Kevin, these trends present a challenge to inland marine professionals who need to stay current. What are you doing at the IMUA to address this need?
That's a great question, Ed. At IMUA, we're all about professional development and education for our industry professionals. Now, there's two components to that these days. One are the veterans, and then two are the millennials and the younger workforce that's coming into play now. So recruiting the younger workforce is a challenge, educating them, getting ready to underwrite is a challenge, and then also feeding our veterans deep dives into knowledge that they need. For instance, we have a builder's risk class coming up, and it's not on just general builder's risk, it's on renovation and redevelopment projects. Totally different than ground up. We're also focusing a good deal of attention on our intro programs for the millennials and the folks that are relatively new to inland marine. In fact, we're very excited. We're just launching our first e-learning course, and it's an introduction to builder's risk, modeled after the module in our two-day introductory class. So we're appealing to both of those segments, and it's a challenge, but I think we're meeting it.
Rich, where do you see opportunities for growth in the year and years ahead?
I think construction is going to continue to grow. The construction growth rate last year was a little over 4%. We see good signs in most sectors, although not all. One of the challenges for all of us is going to be the growth of frame construction. So frame is kind of a dirty word for inland marine underwriters. There have been lots of issues, but economically there's no sign that's going to abate. So we need to come to grips from an industry perspective on how we treat that growing area.
Kevin, you recently announced the key topics you'll be addressing at the annual IMUA meeting in May. What can you tell us?
So the annual IMUA meeting is an industry highlight. It's really it's an education conference. We have a general session track for the experienced folks, and we have an intro track for those that are a little newer to the business. This year we're returning to Scottsdale. We were at Scottsdale in 2018 where we had our best crowd ever, about 320 folks. So this year we have Dan North headlining our keynote, and he's going to talk about what's going on in the economy, how it's affecting insurance, and drill it down to inland marine. We have another session on builder's risk delay claims. We'll talk about motor truck cargo and warehouse legal liability, another segment on commercial flood, and we finish up with emerging trends, which is going to cover cyber, and it's also going to cover climate change and the effects of natural catastrophes and how that's impacting inland marine exposure. So we're looking forward to a great conference. Thanks, Ed.
Well, you know AAIS will be there. Rich, Kevin, thank you both for that update.
Thank you.
Ed, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
If you'd like more information on the inland marine market, visit the AAIS website. Until next time.